This is Picks on Politics with Dan Manarino.
Hello and welcome to Picks on Politics. I'm Henry Rossoff in for Dan today. As we approach the new year, we are looking toward new leadership in New York City. In addition to a new mayor, Mayor-elect Mamdani will begin his new term with a new city council speaker. All signs point to that person being Council Member Julie Menin. Though the official vote is not until January 7th, the council member says she has secured the vote she needs, the majority, to become the next speaker of the city's legislative body. Menin has served in the council since 2022, representing a large part of the Upper East Side. She worked on a package just passed by the City Council, taking the first steps to provide universal child care in New York City. And now she's on her way to becoming the first ever Jewish City Council Speaker. Dan sat down with the council member earlier this week. Here's part of their conversation.
And Julie Menin is joining me now, the Speaker Designate of the City Council. Great to have you here. First time on Picks on Politics. Good to see you.
Great to see you, Dan. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So let me talk about you declaring victory earlier than anybody ever has in decades. You were able to whip these votes pretty quickly. Now, for a New Yorker looking at that and the inside baseball of it all, how do you whip votes to get it where you need to be?
Well, first of all, Dan, we've worked together for 4 years as colleagues in the City Council, and so we know each other really well. And so I was honored and humbled to be able to announce the support of 37 colleagues, 38 today, actually, we're going to be announcing, and all of the new members as well. And I think one of the advantages of announcing the support early, and it was really the members that asked me to announce early because we were ready. We had the votes, we've had them for some time, and so we thought it made sense to announce so we can have a proper transition. Really focus on the important work ahead for the next 4 years, focus on important legislative packages that we want to move forward, focus on committee chairs, all of the work. It's a big endeavor, and certainly running the City Council, there are 400 people in the central staff alone, not to mention all of the different district office and the speaker's team. So it's a big managerial job. I've served as commissioner of 3 New York City agencies over the years and really look forward to bringing that experience to bear.
You know, there's a lot of the rumbles and the rumors that happen about how whether or not you would be a direct check on Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani, and maybe that got you a few extra votes to be a check on Zohran Mamdani. You did not endorse in the election, so how do you view your relationship that will be with Zohran Mamdani?
Well, to be clear, in the Democratic primary, I announced I wasn't going to endorse anyone in the primary or the general election, no matter who won the primary. And I
was
said
it because
that
of the race?
I said because I'm running for speaker, and I would need to work with whoever the next mayor was. So I made that announcement in the primary, and I really stuck to that. With that said, it's not about being a check. It's about we're a co-equal branch of government. We're a separate branch of government. I look forward to partnering very closely with the mayor-elect because we have a shared affordability agenda. We share the issue of universal child care. 3 years ago, the City Council passed a package of bills. I had 5 bills in that package that were supposed to put New York City on a path to universal child care. Mayor Eric Adams did not implement those bills. So on universal child care, we absolutely support that and have been working on that for many years. Affordable housing, we must build more affordable housing because the city is simply unaffordable for the vast majority of New Yorkers. So I look forward to partnering with the mayor-elect on that because there's so many areas of opportunity to build more affordable housing in every single City Council district. So there's a lot of partnership on those areas.
Hearing what you are in alignment with the mayor-elect on, and he's put forth a lot already about public safety in terms of hiring police. Is there something that you maybe aren't in alignment with the incoming mayor-elect?
Well, I think, again, there are going to be many areas we can work on a shared affordability agenda. I also think there's an opportunity on January 7th, I would be the first Jewish speaker. It's very exciting to have the first Muslim mayor and the first Jewish speaker, and I think it's an opportunity actually to bring communities closer together. And so I think that's actually a historic opportunity because the divide has been very great in the city and unnecessarily so. We don't have to have those divides. So I'm actually looking forward to that opportunity.
So just to be clear here, on something you differ from him on.
Sure. So, I mean, I think certainly on BDS, on Cornell Technion. Cornell Technion is actually in my City Council district in Roosevelt Island. I think Cornell Technion is an incredible institution. I'm there all the time. It's created thousands of new jobs for the city. And equally important, it has created new tech companies. So it's a real incubator for startups. Hundreds and hundreds of startups startups have started at Cornell Technion and now are going to be housed in our great city, creating thousands of new jobs and also helping our city to attract new businesses, create new biotech corridors. We have to make sure that revenue is strong for the city of New York so that we can do universal child care, so we can do more affordable housing, build more parks, all of the things that New Yorkers need, and that depends on a very strong economy. So I do support Cornell Technion.
Are you for taxing the wealthy that he wants to do to pay for some things like universal child care?
So I think what our obligation in the city council has to be, where our power is to actually find savings within the city council budget. And I want to give you a couple of specific ideas. So 2 years ago, the city council passed my bill to create the nation's first Office of Healthcare Accountability. And that office is now up and running at the Department of Health. It lists the price of every medical procedure at every single New York City hospital. And medical debt is a leading cause of debt for New Yorkers. We can save $2 billion a year in our city budget through this new office. How? Because we now know what these hospitals are charging us. We as a city are spending $11 billion, or 10% of the New York City budget, on public sector health care because we pay for our public sector employees' health care, their retirees, their dependents' health care. That nut is $11 billion, or 10% of our budget. By harnessing our city's purchasing power, and we as a city are the second largest purchaser of healthcare, we can drive down costs and save $2 billion a year. So what I would look to do is go into the city budget, identify those areas of savings so we can be a true partner on the affordability agenda and ensure that we're doing universal child care.
There was this reporting in the Daily News, I don't know if you saw this, and it was about floating the idea of bringing back the city council's subpoena power.
Right.
Would you want to do that?
Well, I believe we should utilize subpoena power against bad actor corporations. That is what I said. So I've been a regulatory attorney for over 20 years. I served as a commissioner of the Department of Consumer Affairs, where we launched groundbreaking investigations into predatory companies that were preying on New Yorkers. If our city council laws, Dan, are not being implemented, we should utilize subpoena power. It's never been done. We absolutely have the legal authority to under the charter and under our council rules. So I look forward to doing that, and I'll give you, a specific example, Starbucks. So I am the committee chair for consumer and worker protection in the council. I held a hearing about 1.5 years ago on Starbucks, and the consumer affairs commissioner came in and I really grilled her on Starbucks. We found out that there were 76 Starbucks locations that were violating our laws, our fair work week laws, our paid sick leave laws, and I was commissioner when we launched paid sick leave. 76 stores. So I said at the time, there must be a company-wide investigation, because when you've got 76 stores violating council laws, it's really a pattern and practice. And so you need to make sure that there's a systemic company-wide investigation. By utilizing our subpoena power, it allows us to ensure that our city council laws are being enforced. So I would like us to be the first city council in history to utilize that power.
I spoke to the outgoing speaker of the city council, Adrienne Adams, who said the two of you have not spoken yet about a transition. Do you want us to talk to her about that?
Definitely we will. We will absolutely talk about a transition. We announced the votes just last week, and so I look forward to sitting down with her on a proper transition.
And I did ask her about this what's happening at the end of this month, which is a hearing on giving the council and the mayor a raise. And she said, well, that's not for me. That's a question for Julie Menin. So let me ask you, is that something you support in terms of raising the wages for city council members as well as the mayor when we're talking about affordability?
Well, I think it would need to be done through a commission. I am not a co-sponsor of that bill. I'm not a co-sponsor of the bill, again, because there are issues around the city charter. And really the best way to look at any kind of cost of living adjustment should be through a commission, as opposed to the body itself. So I have been talking to my colleagues about that. I look forward to speaking to the mayor-elect about that, to talk about the commission meeting to discuss any kind of cost of living adjustments.
How much have you actually spoken with the mayor-elect?
I've spoken to him several times. We've had incredibly productive conversations. Our teams are actually going to be getting together later this week to really talk about the affordability agenda so we can hit the ground running. There's so much we can do in terms of identifying those pieces of legislation that can be introduced right away in January, certainly on child care, which again, we've been working on for 3 years, and we had a whole legislative package that simply was not implemented by the current mayoral administration. administration. So we look forward to that. And then skyrocketing healthcare costs. That's something that I have dedicated many years to, and as a regulatory attorney that specializes in healthcare law, I'm deeply passionate about it. So we've had conversations about that. How do we ensure that the hospitals are lowering their price so we can really get to this key and critical issue of medical debt?
Out of time here, but I want to continue the conversation digitally. Real quick before we go, people say you're a long-term planner and that you want to run for mayor one day.
No, I have said I'm not doing that. I am absolutely 100% looking forward to being Speaker of the City Council, and that's where my focus is.